Perfect, 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 perfect,
Welcome to Flora Noir Plants. It's Milsbae's birthday. Milsbae is 1 year old and it's our 1 year anniversary too by default. So cheers to her. Boop. Cheers to us. So it's been a year, and as you can see, a lot has changed, but a lot has stayed the same. For this anniversary / birthday video, I'm just going to be giving an update, talking about the equipment, what's changed, what hasn't, and of course, we're going to be doing another plant tour because I know y'all want to know what's in here. It's a lot of stuff in here. First, I'm going to talk about the equipment, and not much has changed. I'm still using the same smart strip, which I love to death. And I'm still using the same lights, the Barrina T5s in yellow. I did buy a set of 4 lights because in my mind I was thinking about adding a second bar to each shelf, but I ended up only adding 1 to the top. So I just added that 5th bar to the top to illuminate the front of the cabinet a little bit more. And I think it just gave my lighting just that little push that it needed to really be like, mwah, yes. Speaking of the lights, I know people have issues getting their Barrina lights to stick, and I have been using the sticky pads that came with them, and it's been a year and they haven't budged. So I guess it's just luck of the draw. For me, those sticky pads have worked great. Besides the light, the only other difference in the equipment is the fan at the bottom. I replaced the fan at the bottom because the pot fell on it and it was making noise and it was aggravating me. So that's the only reason why. So the fan at the top, which you can, that one is still the original fan and is still going strong a whole year later. They do run 24/7. I never turn them off unless I'm cleaning or something. So the fans are still going strong. One thing that I did add to the cabinet is this Govee humidity monitor. And I really do love this product. I have like 5 of these. These connect by Bluetooth to your phone, to the app, so you can see what the temperature is, what the humidity is, and it saves the data so you can actually export it. And it's just a great tool. Everyone with a cabinet should have one of these, absolutely. So for the styling of the cabinet and the things I chose because they look good. All right, so let's get into the contact paper in the back. It has not bubbled, it has not lifted, it has not done anything. It is on your tight for good. I have had no problems with the contact paper. So I definitely recommend you going ahead and giving contact paper a try if you want a different look for your cabinet, especially in the glass back cabinets. I don't like seeing the bare wall, especially these bland beige walls that I have in my house. So having the contact paper really gives your cabinet a dynamic look. If you've watched my first video on this, or if you watched the vlogs, you'll know that I picked this pine wood colored contact paper to blend in with the furniture in the rest of my room. So I still like that look, and I'm probably gonna keep this contact paper for as long as this cabinet is in this room. Now for what you're probably wondering the most about, and that's the wood diagonal shelves. So just a reminder, I had these shelves cut from plywood. I hired somebody to cut them, and then I sealed and painted them myself. One thing I did learn is that the shelves can require maintenance. So just be prepared for that. So one mistake that I made is in this spot where this lovely Waro Queen is, originally I had a humidifier, and that caused the paint to crack and warp in that spot. So I do need to remove the shelf and sand it and repaint it in that spot. That's just a lot of work. It's on my to-do list. I will get to it. But if you do use wood shelves, I do not recommend using a humidifier. And because I have so many plants in here, and because this is pretty well sealed, I do not need to use a humidifier. But if I had the chance to start over, would I do these shelves again? Absolutely. I love the way that these shelves look still. I love the levels of lighting that they provide. I love the way that I can stack the plants and make them visually appealing because y'all know I'm all about the look. So let's get into this plant tour. And as you can see, in the past year, I have doubled the amount of plants that I have in here. And some plants got evicted. Some plants have stayed in here and grown. And of course, there are a lot of new plants. So without further ado, let's see what's going on up in here with these plants. There's a whole lot of plants up in Milsbae. So I counted and there are 41 plants inside plus the 3 plants on top. And I took out a couple plants before recording this video, so it was even more packed than that. So plants on plants on plants, but we're gonna start this tour at the top of the cabinet. So first off, I do get a lot of questions about this vase, and it is a leggy lady vase from Urban Outfitters. But the first plant we're going to talk about is this lovely Bantel Sensation Sansevieria, which is one of the OG plants that has been with the cabinet since the beginning, and it's just a beautifully variegated snake plant. And you can see she has definitely grown a lot in the past year. And in the front we have a booby cactus, and who can resist, right? So cute. I'm not sure if it's good enough light in this spot, but she is growing, and I got her from Succulent Depot for a steal. So check them out if you're looking for a booby cactus. And over here we have Scindapsus exotica that is cascading down beautifully. Who doesn't love a cascading plant? And she's kind of an OG plant. It's not the same one that I had before. The original one got root rot, and so I replaced it. So she's kind of new. And those are the only 3 plants I have at the top. I think it's kind of bare, so what else should I add? Let me know in the comments. Now getting into the cabinet, the first plant that we're going to start with right here is the Philodendron squamiferum. And I love a red stem, I love a fuzzy stem, so this plant checks all the boxes for me. And in front of that one, speaking of a red stem, is a Philodendron white knight. And look at this stunner. This is quickly becoming one of my favorite plants. And here is my string of hearts, which is one of the original plants. And it's kind of leggy at the top, but you can see as I pan down that it's really bushy at the bottom. So every time that I would cut it back, like it would just get bushier and bushier. So I'm going to replant some vines into the top, but it grows so fast in here, it's literally grown to the bottom several times. So I have to keep cutting it back. Hoya carnosa compacta variegata. That sounds like a Harry Potter spell. Historically, I've had issues with this plant until now. Look how beautiful and giving me such great growth. So this is one of my all-time favorite plants, and I'm happy that I finally have one that's happy. Sedum Dream Dazzler. This is a plant that I ordered on a whim, and it's happy here. You can see it's flowering, but this flower is dead and dried up, but I left it because it's still kind of pretty. And behind that is Hoya australis lisa, which is such a prolific grower. It sends vines all over this cabinet. Another plant that I've had to cut back quite a few times, and you can see she just keeps coming right back. She's creeping across the shelf again and growing across the top of the cabinet. And next to her is the Philodendron Bromarx Fantasy tucked up under that fan. And then in the back, I still have my fake IKEA plant. It's still there. This top front hanging plant I've changed a few times, but now it is a Hoya Curtsii, and I have fallen in love with this plant. Look how beautiful it is when it's sun-stressed. The purple back with the deep green and light green freckles on the front. Are they freckles? Speckling? Variegation? Whatever it is, I love it. And let's go to the next shelf. This is an OG plant. This is a Philodendron Velanochrysum, which has been getting on my last nerve, and I chopped it all the way down, and it's finally got its act together, giving me some nice growth. So yay Milano. And since I cut it back, it's also given me like 2 growth points, which is great. So next is Monstera pinipapartita. I said what I said. This one also gave me issues for a while, and now we're finally on a good stride, giving me good growth, keeping its leaves, And we've got some string of turtles hanging out right there. Why not have them join the party? And this beautiful crystal trellis that I got from a local artist. So I'm really falling for this plant too. And in the back, of course, is a pink princess philodendron. And this is another plant that I cut back, and it went from one growth point to like 3 or 4. So if your plants aren't acting right, the moral of the story is just cut them back and then they'll get their act together. Because that's what's been happening with my cabinet plants, and I can't complain about it. Next is the Syngonium Pink Splash, and I didn't think I would like this plant as much as I do, but I mean, come on, look at these leaves. It's giving me an all pink leaf, and some of the other leaves just have some striking coloring, so definitely we recommend this girl. And if you can get one, pick her up, because look at that, who wouldn't want that? Here we have a couple of cute air plants, and these left the cabinet. I haven't had successful air plants outside of the cabinet, but inside they just keep on growing. I soak them about once every 2 weeks, and this is an Alocasia Aslani. As you can see, it's about to put out a new leaf. Behind that, smack in the middle of the shelf under the gazelle head, is a Peperomia Pink Lady, and y'all do not sleep on this plant. I don't think the camera's doing it justice. It has pink variegation, but on the mature leaves it has a silvery iridescence. It sparkles, it's beautiful. And this is the mermaid Hoya, or also known as Hoya polyneura. Now behind her is a second pink princess philodendron, because why not have 2 in the cabinet? And she's got some freckly pink variegation there. And in the back corner, still in the back corner, that has been there for a year, is my philodendron Mayoi, and has a beautiful green new leaf on display. Now, in this basket is a plant that has been giving me a headache, and that's Tradescantia Nanook. I keep getting these brown spots on the leaves, and it's in Leca now. It just kept getting root rot and soil. I swore off Tradescantia because of these brown spots, but I can't stop buying them because they're so damn pretty. So, damn you, Tradescantia! Alright, so down to the next shelf, and we have a beautiful Waro Green, which is one of the newer additions to the cabinet. Just beautiful, stunning leaves. And she put out a brand new leaf since I got her. That one right there, that is like kind of perfect. So I'm loving it. And in the corner tucked back there, which is kind of hard to see since it's behind the Waro, is a cotyledon pendens. And this is a succulent, and it has really stunning blooms if you're not familiar with this plant. So that's why I got it. So I'm hoping that it'll bloom at some point in this cabinet, and if it does, I would be super happy. Next to that is actually a plant I wanted for a long time when I finally got it, and this is a variegated aluminum palea, and I think it's so cute. It's in actually a votive candle holder from IKEA and in some Leca, and again, one of the newer additions to the cabinet. And in the front, we have a air plant Xerographica, which has been growing really quickly, putting out a lot of new growth and starting to actually curl over the edge of the shelf. And against the back is another Tradescantia. This is a tricolor Barrina, which it was a little straggly at some point, but it actually looks pretty damn good right now, if I don't say so myself. So this planter actually doesn't have any drainage, and this plant is in moss, and it's doing pretty good. So I just have issues with keeping Tradescantia in soil, so I do every other medium but that. This is Hoya Koreana Super Silver, and I had it in my garage greenhouse for a while. I've had this plant for a while, and I finally put it in the cabinet, and it just started shooting out new growth. I think it really loves being directly under the grow light. And look at those young leaves right there, giving us that new leaf energy. And this one is an OG plant. This is Hoya linearis. Now, this one did die back a bit, so it hasn't grown as much as you think it would in a year, but it's actually starting to bounce back, and it does have new growth, as you can see there. So yeah, we're on the rebound. This begonia Rex Zumba I got a few weeks ago from Lowe's, and I thought it was so different and unique. I had to pick it up. I was pretty sure I was going to kill it because me and begonia Rex don't have a good history, but it's doing pretty well. The humidity in this cabinet sits right around 80, and I wasn't sure if it was going to be enough for these terrarium style type of begonias, and with a lot of the airflow I didn't think they would do well, but this begonia and another one that I have are doing pretty well to my surprise. And here we have Anthurium crystallinum, which has definitely grown a lot in a year. We've got serious growth here, constant growth. Next to that is a Piper sylvaticum, which is another terrarium type of plant, and it likes the cabinet. Now, I have had some crisping of the leaves, which I did cut off of this one, but that was from underwatering and not from too low humidity. So again, I'm just really surprised that this cabinet could sustain those terrarium style plants without this being a terrarium setup. Variegated string of hearts, and like the other string of hearts, it grows pretty quickly, and I got tired of cutting it back all the time, so I just piled it up on top, and that made it look a whole lot more full. And down tucked in the corner is the Monstera albo, and after almost 2 years I finally got a fenestrated leaf, y'all. Look at that. So this plant is really stunning. It's got a lot of half moon leaves on it, and this is also one of the original plants in the cabinet. I had to move it down to the bottom because it got too big to be on the upper shelf, so now it has plenty of space to grow. And in front of that is Anthurium veitchii king. So I have a Waro queen and a veitchii king. So that is the Anthurium royalty, of course. And under that is a Tradescantia pink panther that is in this, it's a terracotta basket that is full of leca. Discorea elephantiaphis. And as you can see here in the pot, it is a codex plant. It's sharing the pot with some cute little sedum succulents. Now, this plant did die back a bit, and I didn't understand why, but then I realized that people really do water this plant a lot. So once I stepped up the watering, it stepped up the growth, and you can see the vines, they're like everywhere. They're in other plants, growing behind the shelving, growing underneath the lights. I don't know if you can see it intertwined with that Hoya up there. So it's definitely growing a lot more. This is a Scindapsus silver tattoo. I think it's a silver tattoo and not a silver hero. But you know, you never really know what these Scindapsus is. Begonia amphioxus. I hope I said that right. Again, this is a terrarium style plant that is really thriving in here. I got this from a local nursery, and it was already a pretty good size, and it's just growing nonstop. And you can see that it flowers a lot in here. So very excited about this one. I just love like how it looks like an alien plant. And back there is an albo syngonium. I have taken this plant out and put it back in a year's time, and it's getting on my nerves. It keeps trying to revert, so I'm probably going to take it back out again sooner than later. And this is the last stop on the tour. This is again one of the newer additions. I am in love. This is variegated Bromarx philodendron, and this one is giving me super variegated leaves, or just bright yellow leaves, and it grows so fast. And y'all, that's it. That is the whole shebang. Hold up, I forgot a couple. So let's go back. Tucked back there is a philodendron silver sword, and it's living in leca. This has been on my wish list for a while, and I love the way they look mature, so I really can't wait for this one to grow up. And next to that is a rabbit's foot fern. It's in this little head planter, and look at the bangs she is serving. How cute is that? I just love this combination. All right, sorry y'all. I'm sorry I forgot about y'all. I'll make it up with some extra fertilizer. And now that is the cabinet. We're done for real. I'm serious. So that's it for Milsbae's 1 year anniversary update video. What do you think about her glow up? Let me know in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe to our Instagram because you know we're obsessed. And you know we can't stop posting about this girl there too. Stay tuned, hit that subscribe button, and go ahead and scroll through our videos and check out her sister cabinet, Stella, because that's a bad bitch too, okay? Nothing but bad bitch IKEA cabinets up in here. Thank you for coming to shine some light on our green space. And we'll see you potholes next time. Salute. Good shorty, it's your birthday. I should have dropped it hanging from the ceiling. Like, we gonna party like it's your birthday. We're gonna ship Bacardi like it's your birthday.